This story right here is kind of going back to my roots a little bit. This is especially funny because it kind of flies in the face of all the excuses that the tradcons keep throwing out for behavior like this. Exclusive: how a high school dropout from Connecticut, Quarrytown, became a beauty queen and then wife of ultra-rich spinal surgeon, until it all crumbled when he discovered she was an alleged high-end hooker on the side. This woman had everything. She already got a rich husband, a multimillionaire. What more could you possibly want? She never had to work a day in her life. Dude, she was his trophy wife, basically. All she had to do was look pretty. That's it. And she still chose to be a prostitute. She didn't do it out of desperation like all those whammons in Venezuela. She did it because she enjoyed it. Some things you just can't change. Regina Turner was a high school dropout who grew up in an untidy 3-bedroom house on a busy main street in the middle-class Connecticut Quarrytown. She planned to follow in the healthcare footsteps of her parents by becoming a dental assistant, maybe even a dentist. Dentists make some decent money, by the way. But after winning a beauty pageant, Turner's modest dreams were suddenly eclipsed when a world-renowned multimillionaire spinal surgeon whisked her off her feet, married her, and introduced her to a life of unimaginable luxury. And she still was running around having sex for money. When she had everything except for that excitement in her life, I guess. And a decade after quitting school in her sophomore year, she managed to get it all, living with her new husband, Dr. Han-jo Kim, in a magnificent Upper East Side apartment with a panoramic view over Manhattan. If that weren't enough, she and Kim could while away their summers in a $2.6 million vacation home set on more than an acre of land overlooking the Long Island Sound. They took no expenses-spared vacations to Greece, Spain, and France. And still, that was not enough for her. But now Turner's meteoric rise in fortune is over after Kim sensationally divorced her, claiming in divorce papers that she worked as a high-end hooker before and throughout, that second part's the most important, and throughout their 5.5-year marriage. She had it all and still was out having sex for money. If you're one of those tradcons who is convinced that you could do better, well, maybe, but are you willing to risk it? You see how it worked out for this guy. In a 264-page court filing in New York, Dr. Han-jo Kim claimed that he found out about his wife's secret double life after he found a raunchy iMessage to her on a computer. You wonder why they always get defensive when you want to see their phones or their laptops, their computers. These are the same women, by the way. They demand to always have access to all of your electronics to make sure you're not cheating, right? Like, why don't you want me to see your phone? Are you trying to hide something from me? But then you just want some reciprocity. Okay, that's fair. Let me see yours too then. What? Are you saying you don't trust me? I am so hurt right now. How could you even imply that? After you just asked me to see mine? You're going to turn on the crocodile tears? Really? When he dug deeper, Kim found she had made nearly $700,000 from her work in the oldest profession, going off to China for weeks at a time, supposedly because she was developing a clothing app. Maybe an app to remove clothing faster? In fact, such travel was in connection with the defendant's provision of sexual services in exchange for money, her husband said in the court filing. Not to belabor the obvious, but the defendant clearly committed material fraud upon Mr. Kim by concealing her sale of sexual services in exchange for money prior to the marriage, the doctor said. As is further obvious, the plaintiff would have never married the defendant absent her lies and concealment. Don't you women love it when your own tactics are used against you? Like they've been pushing for a while to have it considered struggle snuggle for a man to lie about his income before having sex with a woman. So, okay, that's fair. If you lie about your past before marriage, that should be grounds for not getting anything in the divorce. It remains inconceivable to plaintiff that given his substantial earnings as a spine surgeon and his enormous generosity to defendant, that defendant continued to sell sex for money during the marriage, he continued. Yeah, this guy was probably shocked. Like, bitch, I literally gave you everything. Why were you still prostituting yourself? She was doing it because she liked it. It was her hobby that she made a side income on. And don't get me wrong. Sex is great. Sex is fun. You can get paid for doing it. Why not? But there's going to be consequences. The couple settled their divorce confidentially last week, one day after Kim's allegations about his wife were made public. He had wanted an annulment on grounds of fraud. Something tells me she wasn't willing to do that, which is why he made this public. Regina Turner, 32, grew up in Portland, not that Portland, a small eastern Connecticut town whose quarries provide much of the material for New York's famed brownstone townhouses. Her family home has seen better days. Small saplings grow from the foundations around the door, and mildew covers the clapboard. Her younger sister, Isabel, told the Daily Mail that Regina was unavailable before firmly shutting the door. Why does she have to live in this modest family home if she had made $700,000 being a hooker? Unless she spent it all. That's possible. Regina stands out among the many awkward teens in Portland high school yearbook pictures in her freshman and sophomore years with a confident, beaming smile and long, dark hair. She was beautiful even then, one classmate told the Daily Mail. As you can imagine, she was the one that all the boys wanted to date. I sure had a crush on her. I think every boy in Portland did. But there's no mention of Turner in the yearbooks in what should have been her upperclassmen years of 2007-2008, supporting Kim's court claims that she never graduated high school. If she didn't screw this up, that wouldn't have made any difference. But hey, at least she still has her hooker job, right? If she was making $700,000 a year, well, not a year, but I guess total, she could still do that. Why not? Kim, 41, claimed his wife had told him she had taken a leave of absence from the University of Connecticut, where she was 3 years into a science major after winning the Miss Connecticut USA title in current year -10. This entire relationship was based on a lie. And to be fair, though, the dude didn't care because she was a hot piece of ass, and that's literally all he wanted her for. She had the easiest job in the world, and she fucked it up. In fact, she went to the somewhat less prestigious Tungus Community College in Farmington. She struggled for money. Records show she was twice sued for non-payment of rent on an apartment in New York City's Mott Street. One was for $10,185, and the second was for $13,845. But Regina Turner's life changed when she won her state's beauty pageant, putting her in the Donald Trump-run Miss USA pageant. At the time, she told the Middletown Press that she was confident of lifting the national title. Whenever I decide to do something, I go all in, she said, like your job as a hooker, clearly. Even after getting a multimillionaire husband, you still kept that job, huh? I truthfully expect to win. I do it well, and I do it the right way. I put all my heart into it, and I always try my best. I hope this title will help me with school as well as furthering my hobbies of modeling and acting, Turner added. Possibly I can turn those hobbies into a second career. Well, you did with prostitution, I guess. But according to Kim, her second career was much seedier. Oh, she was definitely collecting a lot of seed in her second career. 3 prominent men, a New Jersey real estate executive, an award-winning lighting designer, and a businessman were all regular clients, he said. According to her bank records, which Kim subpoenaed, the real estate executive wrote out several $2,000 checks for cash that ended up in Turner's account. The lighting designer's company wired her a total of $116,000 over 6 years, much of it in payments of $10,000 each. Financial records from Turner's accounts showed cash deposits of $675,030 between current year -6 and current year, even though she claimed she earned nothing and was totally dependent on Kim. Nothing suspicious here whatsoever. Kim's work straightening backs earned him $3.2 million in current year -3 alone. He has a champagne lifestyle. A crate of Veuve Clicquot was just inside the front door of his luxurious weekend home in Greenport in North Fork on Long Island, where DailyMail.com knocked. So luxurious, I didn't even know how to fucking pronounce that. Damn. I didn't even know what the hell that is. But I know if I looked it up, just like with those handbag brands, I'd be spammed with ads for this for months to come. Kim had arrived at the house, a 3-hour drive from his Manhattan apartment, shortly after noon on Friday. He had driven there in his $200,000 black convertible Aston Martin DB11 Volante, top speed 192 miles an hour. He refused to comment to dailymail.com. You've got to get off my property right now, he said, before going back inside the house he bought in current year -3. I don't blame the guy. I wouldn't be too keen on talking to the media either. So Kim wins plaudits for being a genius as a back surgeon at New York's Hospital for Special Surgery, although many online reviewers fault his bedside manner. His online profile says he specializes in cervical, spine, and scoliosis surgery. He is the director of the Spine Fellowship and has won multiple awards in the national and international arena. Dr. Kim believes in a comprehensive approach to patient care. The profile reads, with individual patient goals in mind, if surgery is necessary, he will perform spine surgery utilizing the most effective and safe techniques tailored to each person in an effort to minimize complications, recovery time, and optimize outcomes. Clearly, he does a good job if he's making that much money on it. I wonder if his ex-wife is going to be competing with him now. I bet I could make more than that selling my body. She's 32 now, though, so that is something you got to remember. She probably doesn't have much time in that profession anymore, at least not making that kind of money, but we'll see. Either way, I thought this story was interesting just because this was a woman who did have it all. Multi-millionaire husband who was more than willing to pay all her bills. All she had to do was look pretty for him, basically, and even that was too much. She still couldn't resist being a hooker. You know what they say, dem hoes ain't loyal. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.